Chapter 18, Nouns and Pronouns. Words like book, table, flower, and apple are countable nouns. They are things that can be counted. Such nouns can have plural forms and are used with a or an. Words like ink, milk, gold, and wisdom are uncountable nouns. They are things that cannot be counted. Normally, uncountable nouns do not have plural forms and cannot be used with a or an. Note that the following nouns are usually uncountable in English. Example: advice, news, information, furniture, luggage, work, business, weather, traffic, screenery, and paper is equal to writing material, etc. Most of these are countable in Indian languages, and therefore Indian students often wrongly use them with a or an and in the plural. Example: wrong, he gave me an advice. Right, he gave me some advice. Wrong, the screeneries here are very good. Right, the screenery here is very good. If you are thinking of one separate item or unit of an uncountable thing, you may say a piece of or a bottle of, etc. Example: a piece of advice, a piece of work, a piece or bar of soap, a bottle of milk, etc. The use of possessive or generative case should be confined to the following. First one, names of living beings and personified objects. Example: the governor's bodyguards, the nature's law, fortune's favorite. Second one, nouns of space or time denoting an amount of something. Example: a day's work, a hand's breadth, in a year's time. When two nouns in the possessive case are in opposition, the apostrophe with s is added to the last only. Example: this is my uncle, the engineer's office, my brother Harry's watch. When one noun is qualified by two possessive nouns, both must have the possessive sign unless joint possession is indicated. Example: the king and queen's journey to India. Grammarians formally recommended that the complement of the verb to be, when it is expressed by the pronoun, should be in the nominative case. Today, the use of nominative forms is considered extremely formal and overcorrect. We usually use the object form. Example: it is me and it was him. The object of verb or a preposition, when it is pronoun, should be in the objective form. Example: there is no difference between you and me. Let you and me do it. Please let Jack and me go to their theatre. He has given great trouble to my father and to me. A pronoun directly after then or as is usual in the objective case unless there is a verb after it. If a verb follows it, the nominative forms is used. Example: he is taller than me, or he is taller than I am. I swim better than him, or I swim better than he does. I am as tall as her, or I am as tall as she is. Formal. Nominative form without a verb after it. Example: he is taller than I, is old fashioned. A pronoun must agree with in a person and gender. Example: all passengers must show their tickets. Every man must bear his own burden. The girls gave her own version of the affair. I am not one of those who believe everything they hear. To anybody, everybody, everyone, anyone, each, etc., the pronoun of the masculine or the feminine gender is used according to the context. Example: I shall be glad to help every one of my boys in his study. Should be used to refer back to anybody, everyone, each, etc., when the sex is not determined. Some grammarians recommended that the pronoun of the masculine gender should be used as there is no pronoun of the third person to represent both male and female. Example: anybody can do it if he tries. Everyone can run fast as he could. In present day English, anybody, everyone, etc. are often followed by the plural noun, except in very formal speech or writing. Example: anybody can do it if they try, and everyone ran as fast as they could at their share. One should be used throughout if used at all. Example: one cannot be too careful about what one says. One cannot be too careful of one's good name. Does not like to have one's word doubted. Must not boast of one's own success. One must use one's best efforts if one wishes to succeed. Cannot one do what own? Question mark. It is better to change the form of the sentence than to keep on repeating one, singular or plural, as the sense may require. Example: did you buy any mangoes? Question mark. There were none in the market. Have you brought me a letter? Question mark. There was none for you. When the singular equally well express the sense, the plural is commonly used, as none of these words are now correctly used. None of his poems are well known. Fools have believed it. Anyone should be used when more than two persons or things are spoken of, as she was taller than anyone. Bracket, not either of her five sisters. Neither are distributive pronouns, calling attention to the individuals forming a collection and must accordingly be followed by verbs in the singular. Example: each of the scholars has done well. Each of the men was paid 20 rupees. Neither of them was invited to the party. Either of the roads leads to the railway station. He asked whether either of the brothers was at home. Be careful to use who nominative and whom objective correctly. There's Mr. Dutt, who they say is the best portrait painter in the town. Who they were, I really cannot specify. I was the man who they thought was dead. He was the man who they determined should be the next mayor. There are some who I think are clever. There are many who we know quite well are honest. One evening of each week was set apart by him for the reception of whoever chose to visit him. Who did you say was there? Who do you think she is? There were a people whom it was not advisable to exit so highly of was failed to win in the first prize. Whom do you wish to see? Who do you believe him to be? Note that today whom is not usual except in the formal English. Who replace whom is spoken English. Who did you meet? Who are you going with? This is the man who I talked about this morning. As a relative pronoun, who replace whom only in defining clauses. When the subject of the verb is relative pronoun, care should be taken to see that the verb agrees in number and person with the antecedent of the relative. Example: this is one of the most interesting novels that have appeared this year. He is one of the cleverest boys that have passed through the school. One of the greatest judges that have ever lived laid this down as law. It was one of the best speeches that have ever been made in the parliament. This is the only one of the poems that is worth reading. Pronoun which make the sentence easier to understand than is possible otherwise. Thus the sentence his foot slipped, which caused him to fall heavily, could be easier reading and hence better. Example: his foot slipped, comma, and is caused him to fall heavily. I went home for my umbrella, comma, and this prevented me from being in time. He fell heavily, comma, and this caused him great pain. And which, comma, but which, the relative itself fulfills the purpose of conjunction. Hence, no conjunction should be placed before it except to join together two relative clauses referring to the same antecedent. Example: he possessed a sandalwood table which was of excellent workmanship, comma, and which had been in his family for generations. But the following sentences are incorrect. He has a wardrobe of wonderful carving, comma, and which has been in his family for generations. They wished me to drink with them, comma, but which I declined. Sometimes a pronoun is inserted when it is not required. Example: the applicant, comma, being a householder, comma, he is entitled to a vote. Here the pronoun he is not required. A noun or pronoun in the possessive case should not be used as the antecedent to a relative pronoun. Example: do not forget his enthusiasm who brought this movement so far. Chapter 19: Adjectives. The adjectives is correctly used with the verb when some quality of the subject rather than of the action of the verb is to be expressed. Example: the flower smells sweet. She looks beautiful. Feels sad. It tastes sour. As a general rule, if any phrase denoting manner could be substituted, the adverb should be used. But if some part of the verb to be could be employed as a connective, adjective is required. Example: the ship appeared suddenly. The decision appears unjust. His friends now began to look coolly upon him. He looks cool. We feel warmy on the subject. We feel warm. He spoke angrily. He looked angry. Kind and short. Example: these kind of things. Such a form of expression is, however, constantly heard and occurs in the good writers. Some grammarians insist that we should say, example, this kind of things or better. Things of this kind. The words superior, inferior, senior, junior, anterior, and posterior take to instead of than. Example: the novelist Jane Austen is superior to Mr. Henry Wood. Harry is inferior to Rama in intelligence. He is senior to me. In comparing two things or classes of things, the comparative should be used as of the two suggestions, the former is the better of the two. He is taller of the two. This rule is, however, not strictly observed. In formal English, the superlative is often used when we talk about one of the only two things. We can use best, most interesting, cheapest, and tallest in the sentence above. When a comparison is instituted by means of a comparative from the class of things with which it is compared by using other or some such words, example, he is stronger than any other man living. The sentence he is stronger than any man living suggests that the person referred to is stronger than himself. Example, the Nile is said to be longer than all other rivers in the eastern hemisphere. Solomon was wiser than all other men. In a comparison by means of superlative, the latter term should include a former, largest of all reptiles. The Amazon is the largest of all rivers. Of all men, he is the strongest. Of any, often used incorrectly in conjunction with the superlative. Example, he has the lightest touch of any musician. This should be rewritten as follows: he has a lighter touch than any other musician, or no other musician has so light a touch. A very common form of error in the following sentence: the population of in London is greater than any city in the India. Say, the population of London is greater than that of any city in the India. The comparison is between first one, the population of London, and second one, the population of any city in the India. Double comparatives and superlatives are to be avoided, though their use was once common in English. Example, it was the most unkindest cut of all. The following sentence is incorrect. She had the title town seen a more costlier funnel, but lesser. A double comparative is used even by the best authors. The lesser of the two evils. Preferable as the force of comparative and is followed by two. We must not say more preferable. Example, he has a scheme of his own which he thinks preferable to that of any other person. Of you is used before plural nouns. However, less is also often used before plural nouns in informal English. Certain adjectives do not really admit of comparison because their meaning is already superlative. Example, unique, ideal, perfect, complete, universal, entire, extreme, chief, square, round. Do not therefore say most unique, quite unique, chiefest, extremist. But we still say, of instance, this is the most perfect specimen I have seen. Elder and eldest apply to persons only and are, besides strictly speaking, confined to the members of the same family. Was older than morally. He will succeed to the title in the event of the death of his elder brother. She is the eldest of the Victoria family. Older farmer Giles is the oldest inhabitant in our villages. First, we should say the first two. Example, the first two chapters of the novel are rather dull. The first two boys were awarded gold medals. A few is positive and equivalent to some. Few persons can keep a secret. Little is equal to not much. A little is equal to some. though not much. Example, there is a little hope of his recovery. A little tact would have saved the situation. Latter is often wrongly used for last. Use latter when there are two only. Last when there are more. Example of the three, tea, coffee and coke. The last, not latter, is favorite. Verbal is often wrongly used for oral. Verbal means or of pertaining to words. Oral means delivering by words of mouth, not written. Hence, the opposite of word is oral, not verbal, with an oral message to the doctor. Photograph will give the reader a far better notation of the structure than any verbal description. Where you instruction, oral or written. Do not say our mutual friend. The proper expression is our common friend. Example, they were introduced to each other by a common friend. Happened to meet at the house of a common friend. Chapter 20 Verbs. The subject of the sentence should not be left without a verb. The following sentence is incorrect. He who has suffered most in the cause, let him speak. Recast as shown below. Let him who has suffered most in the cause speak, or he who has suffered most in the cause should speak. A verb should agree with its subject and not with the complement. Example, what is wanted is not larger house with modern convenience but small cottages. The details are a matter of future consideration. Our followers are but a handful. In a compound sentences, a single verb can be made to a duty for two subjects only when the form of the verb is such as to permit of it. Example, not a drum was heard, not a funnel note. This as example, I never have heard anybody, and never will. No state can or will adopt this strict measure. But the following sentence is incorrect. He has never and never will take such strong measures. Rewrite it as follows. He never has taken and never will take such strong measures. There is only one auxiliary to one principal verbs. It should be such that it may be correctly associated with both. Example, new members have been enrolled and 7 resigned. Rewrite it as follows. 10 new members has been enrolled and 7 have resigned. Carefully difference between the verbs lay and lie. The verb lay is transitive and is always followed by an object. The verb lie is intransitive and cannot have an object. Lay, lied, lied. Lie, lie, lie. Lay the child down to sleep. I laid the book on the table. The hen has laid an egg. Let me lie here. He lay under the peepal tree. An infinitive should be in the present tense unless it represents action prior to the following governing verb. I should have liked to go, not to have gone, but we correctly say it seems to have enjoyed his stay to Mahaballeshwaram. A common blunder is to leave the participle without proper agreement or with no agreement at all. Example, sitting on a gate, a scorpion stung him. Here, the word scorpion to which the participle sitting refers grammatically is not the with which it means to be connected in sense. In other words, the participle is left without proper agreement. We should therefore recast it as shown below. Sitting on the gate, he was stung by a scorpion, or while he was sitting on the gate, a scorpion stung him. Now read the following sentence where the participle is left with no agreement at all. Example, being a very hot day, I remained in my tent. Here the sentence contains no word to which the participle can possibly refer. We should therefore write, as it was very hot day, I remained in my tent. Usage, however, permits in certain cases construction like the following. Example, considering his abilities, he should have done better. Roughly speaking, the distance from here to nearest railway station in 2 miles. Taking everything into consideration, his lot is as happy one. It will be noticed that in each sentence the unexpressed subject is undefined. Thus, taking everything into consideration is equal to if one should take everything into consideration. A present participle should not be used to express an action which is not conforms with the action of the principal verb. The following sentence is therefore incorrect. Example: he sailed for New York on Monday, arriving there on Saturday. Rewrite it as follows: he sailed for New York on Monday and arrived there on Saturday. The subjective mood is sometimes wrongly used for the indicative when the statement introduced by if or though is an actual fact or what is assumed as a fact. The proper mode to be used in the indicative and not the subjective. Example: though the war is over, there is much discontent. If he was there, he must have heard the talk. But the subjective is correctly used in the following sentences. If I were you, I should agree. If he were here, he would support me. Though he were the Prime Minister, I would say the same. The verb make is followed by noun or pronoun plus plain infective is equal to plain infective without. Many students wrongly use it with to infective. Example: she made the boy do the work whole. We rewrite it as she made the boy do the whole work, not to do the whole work. When used in the passive, make it follow the to infinitive. The boy was made to do the whole work. The following verbs are often wrongly used with the to infinitive: enjoy, avoid, miss, postpone, suggest. They should be used with garden. Example: he enjoys swimming, not to swim. He avoids meeting people, not to avoid. We miss seeing the Prime Minister, not to see. Note the following: wrong. Suresh told to me about it. Right. Suresh told me about it. The verb tell is followed by an indirect object. Me, him, her, etc. without to. Example: wrong. She told she would come. Right. She told me she would come. Or she said she would come. When used with the that clause, tell takes an indirect object while say does not. Example: wrong. I want that you should meet me. Right. I want you to meet him. The verb want should not be used with the that clause. It is used with the to infinitive. Wrong. I suggest you to apply for the post. Right. I suggest that you should apply for the post. The verb suggest should be used with the that clause. It cannot be used with that with the to infinitive. The verbs discuss, describe, order, and request are transitive verbs. Students often wrongly use these verbs with the preposition. Example: wrong. We discussed about the matter yesterday. Right. We discussed the matter yesterday. Wrong. He described about the scenery. Right. He described the scenery. Wrong. I have ordered for 3 cups of coffee. Right. I have ordered 3 cups of coffee. Wrong. She requested for my help. Right. She requested my help. Chapter 21: Adverbs. Adverbs should be so placed in the sentence as to make it quite clear which word or words they are intended to modify. Hence, adverbs should come, if possible, next to the word or words they modify. Example: he had got almost to the top when the rope broke. As a general rule, only should be placed immediately before the word it is intended to modify. As example: I worked only 2 sums. Only Balu succeeded in scoring a century. I praise him only when he deserves it. In a spoken English, however, it is usually put before the verb. The required meaning is obtained by stressing the word which the only modifies. Example: he only worked 2 sums. The word to is stressed. The adverbs ever, never, ever are often misplaced, as in the following sentence. Quite the most remarkable article we ever remind to have read. Say, we remind ever. Two negatives destroy each other, hence two negatives should not be used in the same sentence unless we wish to make an Affirmation, we should say, I haven't got any. I could not find it anywhere. I have not got any paper of my exercise. I can't see any wit in her. Adjectives should not be used for adverbs. We should say, for instance, example, he ate the sweets greedily. He will pay dearly for his mistake. Ever is sometimes misused for never. We seldom or never see those forsaken who trust in God. Such goods are made for export and are seldom or never used in the country. Note, seldom or never and seldom if ever are both correct, but seldom or ever is incorrect. Else should be followed by but. Example, it is nothing else but pride. The use of never for not is incorrect. We met the other day, but he never referred to the matter. Say, he did not ever refer. Kipling was never born in London. Say, Kipling was not born. I never remember having met him. Say, I do not remember ever having met him. Except colloquially, so as an adverb of degree must not should be used absolutely, that is with a correlative. We should say he is very bracket not so weak. Cricket is very bracket not so uncertain. I was very bracket not so lonely. That should not be used instead of so as an adverb. We should say he went only so far. He was so tired that he could scarcely stand. He was so angry that he slammed the book on the table. The adverb to means more than enough and should not be used instead of very or much. In the following sentences, to is used correctly. Example, the news is too good to be true. My heart is too full of words. The work is too much for any man to do single handed. He is too much exhausted to speak. Of course is often loosely used for certainly, undoubtedly. Strictly speaking of course should be used to denote a natural or an inevitable consequence. Does she sing well? Certainly. Bracket not of course she does. Chapter 12, Conjunctions. Except is not now used as a conjunction equivalent to unless. Example, I shall not come unless bracket not accept you need me. Do not trouble yourself about writing to me unless bracket not accept you are quite in the humor for it. The use of with without as conjunction equivalent to unless is now bad English. Example, unless bracket not without. You apologize, I shall punish you. I shall not go unless bracket not without you do. Like is often wrongly used as a conjunction instead of as. Example, he speaks as bracket not like his father does. But it is quite correct to say he speak like his father. Bracket like ear is ear a preposition. Directly should not be used as a conjunction, whereas soon as would is everywhere be better. As soon as bracket, not directly, the session of 1919 commenced, the government was pressed to do something for the unemployed. The conjunction that is sometimes redundantly repeated. Example, he must remember that although the first people in Europe would like his society and place him on a equality with themselves, the bracket that none of them would either give or lend him. Instead of repeating the conjunction used in the preceding clause, some writers have a trick of introducing a subsequent clause by that. Example, if I do not speak of them, it is because they do not come with my subject, and not that they are lightly estimated by me. Bracket use because instead of that. Scarcely should be followed by when and not by then. Scarcely add e gone. When bracket not then a policeman knocked at the door. No sooner is followed by then and not by but. No sooner had he returned Then, bracket not but, he was off again. The praise seldom or ever is meaningless. We should say seldom or never. Such goods are made for export and are seldom or never used in this country. Say, I gave no more than I could not help. Bracket, not than I could help. Examine the following sentence. This is as good, if not better, than that. You will notice that as is omitted after as good. It is better to say this is as good as, if not better than that, but the best way to correct the sentence is to recast it. Thus, this is as good as that, if not better. Care should be taken when using correlative conjunctions such as either or, neither nor, not only but also, then they are followed by the same part of speech as he lost not only his ticket but also his luggage. But the following is incorrect. He not only lost his ticket but also his luggage. Neither is followed by nor, not by or. He washed neither his hands nor bracket not or his face. Chapter 23, Order of Words. In English, owing to the favorness of the inflection, the order or arrangement of the words in the sentence is of the first importance. The following is the usual order of words in an English sentence. The subject usually comes before the verb, as the dog bite the horse. The people rang the bell for joy. The object usually come after the verb, as the horse bite the dog. The king wears a crown. When there is an indirect object and also a direct object, the indirect precedes the direct, as lend me your ears. When the adjective is used attributively, it comes before the noun, which is qualifies as few cats like cold water. I like the little pedals who has a crooked nose. King France was a arty king and loved a royal sport. When the adjective is used predictively, it comes after the noun, as the child is asleep. The horse become restive. The adjective phase come immediately after the noun, as old Tumblecane was a man of might. The tops of the mountains were covered with snow. The adverb is generally placed close to the word which it modifies, as nothing ever happens by chance. John is a rather lazy boy. He worked only 2 terms. He never tells a lie. Note that when an adverb is intended to modify the sentence as a whole, it is placed at the beginning of the sentence, as certainly he made a fool of himself. All qualifying clauses are placed as close as possible to the words which they qualify, as he died in the village where he was born. The dog that bites does not bark. People who live in glass houses should not throw stones. The normal order of words in a sentence is sometimes altered for emphasis, as uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. Monkey I detest. Monkey you shall have. Blessed are the merciful. Great is Dinah of the emperors. Great is the struggle, and great is also the prize. Just and true are all thy ways. Fallen, fallen is Babylon. Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have given to I unto thee. Owing to faulty arrangement of words, a sentence may be turned into perfect nonsense, as few people learn anything that is worthy learning easily. He blew out his brain after biting his wife goodbye with a gun. A gentleman has a dog to sell who wishes to go abroad. It is therefore essential that all qualifying words, phrases, and clauses should be placed as near as possible to the words to which they refer. Chapter 24, Idioms. Idioms may be defined as expression peculiar to a language. They play an important part in all languages. Many verbs, when followed by various prepositions or adverbs, acquire an idiomatic sense as he backed up supported his friends climb. The present disturbance will soon blow over pass over. The police pursued evidence to bear out sustain it the charge of murder. You must not build your hope upon his promises. The matter has been clearly up bracket explained. I readily closed with accepted his offer. He is ready to dispose of sell his car for rupees 1,50,000. Rust has eaten away corded the plate. They fixed upon choose him to do the work. My good behavior so far gained on won the favor of the emperor that I began to convince hopes of liberty. The habit of chewing tobacco has been grown upon is having stronger and stronger hold over him. Please hear me out, that is, hear me to the end. I have it upon found a good plan to get rid of him. About an hour ago, I saw a fellow hanging bracket about our bungalow. These events led up to cumulative in the establishment of a republic. During exclusive of one of the workmen lightened upon changed to find discovered a gold idol. During her long illness, she often longed for decide death. I could not prevail on pursue or induce him to attend the meeting. For years I could not sake of get rid of my malaria. I threatened to show him up expose him. All eyes turned to him because he was the only person who could stave off prevent avert the impending war. He is sticking out of proceeding is demanding better terms. I must think the matter over, that is, consider it. Train up educate a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. That fellow trumped up concocted, fabricated a story. Beer, he seems to be well off, in comfortable circumstance. Satish bore away, won many prizes at the school sports. The new leader has been able to bear down, overthrow, or crash all opposition. His evidence bears out, confirms or corroborates the evidence of the first witness. In his misfortune, God gave him strength to bear up, to keep up spirits, not to despair. A religious hope bear ups, supports a man in his details. His evidence did not bear upon was not relevant to the injury. I trust you will bear with have practice with soap forbearance to me a few minutes more. Next example break. He broken down failed in the middle of his speech. He broken off stopped suddenly in the middle of his story. I gave him no cause to break with quarrel with me. The buckerless broken into entered by force the houses. Next example bring. His folly has brought about caused his ruin. Idleness and luxury being forth produce cause poverty and want. He brought forward had several cogent arguments in support of his claim. That building brings in yields as rent rupees the 7,000 a month. Our teacher often tells us a story to bring out show the meaning of the lesson. The publishers have recently brought out published a cheap edition of their new dictionary. He found great difficulty in bringing her round converting her to his reviews. She brought up reader, the open and our own child. Next example, call. His master called for demanded an explanation of his conduct. New responsibilities often call out draw forth vitreous and abilities unsubstituted before call in summon sent for a doctor immediately. He called on me, paid me a brief visit yesterday. The old man could not call up recollect past events. Next example, carry. He agreed to carry out execute my orders. His passion carried him away, that is, deprived him of self-control. His son carried on managed his business in his absence. Many persons were cried off, killed by plague. Next example, cast. The ship was cast away, wrecked on the coast of Africa. He was much cast down, depressed by his loss. Next example come. How did these things come about? Happen. How did you come by? Get is pursue. When does the convenience come of? Take place. At last the truth has come out. Transpired. The tax come to amount to a large sum. The question came up was mooted or raised for discussion before the municipal corporation last week. I accept he will come round recover within a week. I hope he will come round agree to our views. Next example, cry. Men of dissolute lives cry down, depressed religion because they would not be understand the restraints of it. He cried out as against prostrated against such injustice. The young author is cried up, exalted by his friends. Next example, cut. He was cut off, died in the prime of life. You must cut down, reduce your expenditure. He is cut off, especially fitted to be a sailor. His wife death cut him off, afflicted him, distressed him terribly. Do. I am done for. Renewed. Having walked 20 miles, he is quite done up. Fatigued, exhausted. Next example, fall. At last the retors fell back. Held. At my friend's tea party, I fell in with met accidentally a strange fellow. The measure fall in with happens to meet the properly demand. The scheme has fallen through failed for want of support. I am told the two brothers have fallen out quarreled. It is said that the standard of efficiency in public service has recently fallen off destroyed. In the second school term, the attendance fell off dismissed. Next example, get. His friend expected that he would get off escape with the fine. It is hard to get on with agree or live sociably with a suspicious man. The thief got away, escaped with my cash box. I can't get out, remove this stain. The revolt of the terrible chiefs has been begun, got under, substandard. The dog tried to get attack, me. He has got through bracket passed his exam. They soon got the fire under control by pouring buckets of water over it. You were lucky to get off escape from his clutches. We are credibly informed that the murderer has given himself up, surrendered himself to the police. The doctor have given up, that is, have no hope of his recovery. Soon after it was given forth, published, noticed, abroad, and believed by many that the king was dead. The fire gave off, emitted a dense smoke. The strikers seem determined and are not likely to give it submit yield. It was given out published proclaimed that he was a bankrupt. The horses gave out were exhausted at the next milestone. The rope gave way broke snapped while the workmen were hauling up the iron pillar. He was not listened to me at first, but at the last he gave away, yielded. The governor gave away, distributed, presented the prizes. Give over, up down. This foolish attempt. In his cross examination, he ultimately gave himself away, betray himself. Next example, go. You cannot always go by judge from appearance. It is good role to go by to be guided by. He promised to go into examine, investigate the matter. Have you anything to do go upon that is any foundation for your statement? We have no data to go upon on which to base of conclusion. The story won't go down we believed. The convert went off well was a success. The editor went over examined the balance sheet. The poor woman has gone through suffered much. I must first go through examine the accounts. Next example, old. The rebels held out offered resistance for about a month. He tolls out gives no promise of further process. They were held up stopped on the highway off and robbed by bandits. The subject is held over deferred postponed till next meeting. Next example, keep. A few boys were kept in confined after school hours. I was kept in confined to the horse by a bad cold. They kept up carried out a long conversion. Little disputes and squirrel are chiefly kept out maintained by those who have nothing else to do. He is trying his best to keep up maintain the reputation of his family. The rubber syndicate keeps up maintain the price. She kept on continued talking. I shall keep but back conceal nothing from you. Next example, knock. He has knocked about wonder about the word or a great idol. The dressing table was knocked down, sold at an occasion for Rs 900. We were generally knocked up, exhausted after our step climbed. Next example, lay. The rebels lay down, surrendered their arms. He had laid out, invested a large sum in railway shares. Foolish people who do not lay out, spend their money carefully soon come to grief. He is laid up, confined to his bed, with brave with favor. He resolved to lay by bracket save for future needs a part of his income. Next example, let I was let into bracket made with our secret. This begin his first offense. He was let off bracket punished frequently with a fine. Next example, look his uncle look after bracket take care of him. He looked down upon bracket dispersed his poor cousins. Look up, bracket, search for the word in the dictionary. The old man is looking forward to, bracket, expecting with pleasure, the visit of his grandchildren. I will look into, bracket, investigate the matter. I look on, bracket, regard him as my son. Some look to, bracket, rely on legislation to hasten the progress of social reform. Look to, bracket, be careful about your manners. Prices of price goods are looking up, bracket, rising. Things are looking up, bracket, improving. His friends look up to, bracket, respect him. He will not look at, that is, will reject. You offer. Next example, make. Contaminate makes for bracket conduce to happiness. He made over bracket presented gave it clarity. His bungalow to the Islam orphanage. I cannot make out bracket discovery the meaning of this verse. I cannot make out bracket read disappear is handwriting. You have failed to make out bracket prove your case. Some time ago the two brothers quarreled, but they have now made it up. Bracket become reconciled. Next example, pass. He generally passed by bracket overlooked the faults of his subordinates. The crew of the boat passed through bracket underneath terrible suffering. He passed himself off as bracket pretended to be a noble man. He possesses all of bracket is regarded as a great Sanskrit. Next example, pick. The committee picked out bracket selected the best players of the team. He lost 20 pounds in sickness, but is now picking up bracket regaining or recovering wealth. Next example, pull. Unless we pull together, bracket cooperate, work together in harmony, we cannot succeed. My cousin pulled through, bracket passed with difficulty the examine. The doctor says the patient will pull through, bracket recover from his illness. It is far easier to pull down, bracket demolish than the tend to build up. He was pulled up, bracket scolded, rebunked by the president. Next example, put. He puts on, bracket assumes an air of destiny. Please put out, bracket extinguish the light. He was put out, bracket annoyed when I refused his request for a loan. The plenty was put out, bracket disconnected when the suit was dismissed. He tried to put me off, bracket evade me, satisfy me with promises. He has put in bracket made set in a climb for comparison. While traveling I had to put up with bracket endure a good idle for discomfort. I cannot put up with bracket tolerate his innocence. They put him up to indicate him to mischief. I am sorry to put up to give you so much trouble. He put off bracket postponed his dispatch for a week. The measure was put through bracket passed without opposition. Next example, run. On account of overwork, he is run down. Bracket unfeedable. He always runs down. Bracket disprogress. He reveals the license of our prescription has run out. Bracket expired. Come to an end. He has run through bracket subscribed away bracket his fortune. The tailor's bill has run up to bracket amounted to a large amount. He has run into incurrent debt. While turning the conquer, I ran against bracket, changed to meet an old friend. Recently, my expense has run up, bracket increased considerably. The crescent is running over, bracket overflowing. Next example C. I saw through bracket detected the trick. It is hard to see into bracket describe his motive. His friend was present at the station to see him. Bracket witnessed his departure. Next example set is the court set aside annulled the decree of lower court. He immediately set about bracket took steps towards organizing the department. He set off bracket started for pursue early his morning. The frame sets off the picture that is enhance its beauty by contrast. He has set up bracket started business as banker. I have enough capital to set me up bracket establish myself in trade. He tried a partial bungalow and set up for bracket pretend to be a millionaire. I was obligated to set him down bracket stunned in. You may set down bracket charge is lost to me. Who set you on indexed you to do it? These sets are set apart bracket reserved for ladies. In his speech of prohibition, he set forth bracket explained made known his view at length. The robbers set upon bracket attacked the defenseless travelers. Winter in England sets in bracket begins about December. Next example speak. In this city there is no free library to speak of. Bracket worth mentioning. I was determined to speak out. Bracket express my opinion freely. Stand. They are determined to stand up for bracket vindicated maintain bracket their rights. Let this matter stand over bracket be deferred or postponed for the present. It is hard, but I think I can stand it out. Bracket endure it to the end without yielding. He is always standing up for bracket camping the claws of the weak and oppressed. He shall be formidable if we stand by bracket support one another. Next example strike. He is struck down with bracket attacked by paralysis. The medical council struck off bracket removed his name from the register of medical participators. While we will going plan a family picnic, my sister stuck in bracket interrupted with the suggestion that we invite our neighbor children as well. Next example, the piano takes up bracket occupies too much room. It would take up bracket occupy too much time to tell you the whole story. Take. At present, I am reading the essays of Banco, but it is sometimes difficult to take in bracket understand his meaning. Recently, he has taken to bracket become addicted to obscure eating. Next example, talk. We talked over, discussed the matter for an hour. I hope to talk him over, bracket, convenience him by talking to our view. Next example, tell. I am afraid of telling attendance will tell against you, that is, proving unfavorable to you. The strain is telling upon, bracket, affecting his health. Next example, throw. My advice was throw away, bracket, wasted upon him because he ignored it. The bill was thrown out, bracket, rejected by the assembly. In disgust, he threw up, bracket, resigned his appointment. When he became rich, he threw over, bracket, deserted all his old friends. Next example, turn. The factory turns out, bracket, produce manufacture 20,000 lbs of cloth a day. If he is lazy, why don't you turn him off, bracket, dismiss him. He turned out, bracket, proved to be sharper. His very friends turned against, bracket, become hostile to him, to him, hostile to him. Who can say what will turn up, bracket, happen next? Question mark. Who he promised to come, but he never turned up, bracket, appeared. We tempted him with many promises, but nothing would work on, bracket, influence him. Next example, work. We tempted him with many promises, but nothing would work on, bracket, influence him. He worked out, bracket, solved the problems in few minutes. He is sure to work up, bracket, exist the mob. He worked upon, bracket, influenced the ignorant villagers. In spite of all his brags, he had to hate humble pie, bracket, to apologize humbly, to yield under humiliating circumstance. Take care what you say, you will have to heed your words, bracket, to retract your statement and to take back what you have said. I am prepared to meet you halfway, bracket, come to a compromise with you. It is silly to meet trouble halfway, that is to anticipate it, to worry about it. It comes. This unaccepted new difficulty put me on my mettle, bracket, roused me to do my best. This is of a price with, bracket, in keeping with the rest of his conduct. He is not worth his salt and quite worthless if he fails at his junction. The cost of living has increased so much that he finds it difficult to make both ends meet, bracket, to live within his income. As a social reformer, he set his face against, bracket, opposed Notch's prayers. At the Battle of Maginot, Napoleon was within an arc of, bracket, on the point of defeat. That is, he was very nearly defeated. A belief in witchcasting is losing ground, bracket, becoming less powerful or acceptable. Lord Roberts first won in his laurels, bracket, acquired distinction or glory in India. It was in parliamentary debate that he won his spurs, bracket, made his reputation as politician. When the prodigal returned to his father's house, he was received with open arms, with a warm welcome. How can you trust a man who plays fast and loose, bracket, say one thing and does another? How can you trust a man who plays fast and loose? Bracket, say one thing and does another. I look him to a task, bracket, rebunk him for reading Penty Dreadfuls. He turned a deaf ear to, discarded my advice. That argument will not hold water. bracket stands security, that is it is unsound. He is determined to achieve his object by hook or by crook, bracket by fair means or foul, by any means he can. He is determined to achieve is by, to all intents the pursue, bracket practically virtually the prime minister of Nepal was the ruler of country. The singer, having a slightly cough, was not in a voice, bracket, unable to singing well at the concert. Idioms continued. Chapter 25, Idioms continued. Note that the student who studied the following selection of English idioms will notice that metaphor enters largely into idiomatic phrase. The singer, having a slight cough, was not in voice, bracket, unable to sing well at a concert. These two statements do not hang together, that is, are not consistent with each other. This is more than flesh and blood, bracket, human nature can endure. He accepted my statement without reserve, bracket, fully implicity. I must take an exception to, bracket, object to your remark. He is indicated to a faulty, that is, he is over indicated, so indicated that his indulgence is faulty. The belief in efficiency of vacation is gaining ground, bracket, before more general. From his attitude, it is clear that he wants to pay off old scores, bracket, to have his revenge. He has been working on and off at intervals several years to compile a dictionary. He visits me off and on, bracket, now and then occasionally. Fourth one, at least one of the, at least on the question of child marriage we are at one, bracket, of the same opinion. He took my advice in good part, bracket, with offense, that is he did not reset it. It was you put a spoke in my wheel, bracket, thwarted me in the execution of my design. At an earlier age, he made him mark, differentiated himself as a champist. I have eaten my fingers ends. No bracket, no it thoroughly. The new play has fallen flat, bracket, met with a cold reception. Where discipline is conquered, I put my foot down, bracket, take a resolved stand. It is matter of gratification to me that he has turned over a new leaf, bracket, changed for better, begun a different mode of life. I have made up my mind, bracket, resolved, decided to retire from business. This puts me in mind, bracket, reminds me of any assuming incident. There's no love was between them, that is, they are not good terms, they dislike each other. Many people at the country live from hard hand to mouth, that is, without any provision of the future. Steady work is sure to be rewarded in the long run. Example, eventually, ultimately, whatever else on me say of him, no one dare call in question, bracket, challenge, express a doubt about his honesty of purpose. The policy came to the screen in the nick of time, just at the right moment. Opportunately, he should buy him he should buy him through thick and thin, under all condition, undaunted by anything. His partner threw cold water on his scheme, bracket, discouraged him by showing indifference to it. He can turn his hand to, bracket, adapt or apply himself to anything. He is hand and gloves, bracket, on very intimate terms with my cousins. He turns even his errors to account, that is, profits by them. He is accused of sitting on the fence, bracket, halting before between two options, hesitating which side to join. It is all one, bracket, just the same to me whether he lives in Mumbai or Kolkata. What is the point at issue? Bracket, he dispute. The injury has brought to light, bracket, disclosure some startling facts. He is not fit to hold a candle to, bracket, not to be named in comparison with his predecessor. He burnt his fingers, bracket, got himself into trouble by interfering his neighbor's affairs. I suspect the fellow lives by his wits. That is, he has no settled means of subsistence but picks up a living by deceit or fraud. The he bids fair, bracket, seems likely to reveal his father as lawyer. He strained every nerve, bracket, used him utmost efforts to get his friend elected. When I saw him last, he was beside himself, bracket, out of his mind with grief. He spent over it much with time and energy and lost a large sum into a bargain, bracket, in addition. Besides, when I entered the house, everything was at six and sevens, bracket, in disorder or confusion. Recently, he has been given himself his, bracket, behaving aggressively. The attack might be launched at any time, so you must be on the alert, bracket, on your guard, ready to act. Reattendance is the order of day, bracket, the prevailing state of things in the every public and private offices. In the manufacture of dyes, the Germans bear the plum, bracket, are pre-entertainment. Agriculture in is American has kept pace with, bracket, progressed at equal rate with industrial activities. This textbook of chemistry is quite out of date, bracket, absolutely. This is most up to date, bracket, modern recent book of the subject. What you say has no bearing on the subjects in hand, bracket, undiscussed or consideration. It speaks volumes of, bracket, serves as a strong testimony to, bracket, Dr. Johnson's industry that he should have complied to dictionary without anyone's help. Poor fellow, he is hoping against hoping even when the case seems hopeless. I am told he has got into hot water, bracket, into trouble. Ultimately, I got the better of, bracket, overcome him. He was found guilty, but he got easy, bracket, he got a light sentence. I washed my hands of my whole matter. That is, I refused to have anything more than that to do it. The situation seems to have got quite out of hand, bracket, beyond control. It is said that he has a finger in the pie, bracket, had something to do with the affair, is mixed up in the affair. That fellow sets everybody by the ears. That is, he is mischief marker. You have hit the nail on the head, said or done exactly the right thing. Today he is a high spirits, bracket, cheerful, joyful. How is that? You seems out of spirits, bracket, gloomy, sad. Oh, my lad, you have, as if you have been in the wars, bracket, hurt yourself. I suspect he has an axis to grind in, bracket, private ends to serve a personal interest in the matter. The news of Amrit's death spread like wildfire, bracket, spread rapidly. He took to heart, bracket, was deeply affected by the death of his wife. He was disappointed, but he took heart. Bracket cheered himself up and tried again. He has his heart in the right place. Bracket means well, is of kindly and sympathetic disposition. He is coming to the front. Bracket attaining promises become consequence in the public life. He is not a great lawyer, but he has the gift of grab bracket, a talent of speaking. Provision is gallon and wormwood bracket hateful to distillers. The strikers have thrown out of gear bracket disturb the working of many of out importance industries. Though he addressed his boys for a few mistakes, only the earthlings with which he spoke went home to them. Bracket deeply appealed to them. Just now he is sleepy coining money. Bracket making money very rapidly, earning large sum easily. The screen is in the charter bracket in keeping with the rest of the furniture. He is not in the good books of bracket in favor with his master. I am afraid of I am afraid in his bad looks bracket out of favor with him. I am quite at sea bracket preferless at loss what to do or how to act. It does not understand that he stands to in his own light, acts against his own interest, hinders in own advancement. Although he denies it, I think he is bended behind the scenes bracket in the secret in possession of facts not generally known. You are sure to put your foot in it bracket to blunder to get into a scarp. If you are meddled in his affairs, I begged him to reconsider his decision, but the put his foot down bracket remained firm, refused to yield. He asked me to deny with him, but I told to foot the bill bracket pay for it. We shall fight tooth and nail bracket with all four power for our rights. The poverty beyond the poverty belonged to Nawab, but recently it has changed and become someone else's poverty. He is by long odds bracket most distinctly the greatest of living mathematician. The thief took to his heels, bracket ran off on seeing a policeman. Our school is within a stone throw of bracket at a short distance from the railway station. A few days before his death, he made a clean breast of confess with reserve everything connected with that affair. He stood his ground, bracket, maintained his position against his adversary. He keep in touch with bracket as intimate knowledge of the latest developments in wireless. That is where the shoe pinches bracket where the difficulty of trouble lies. I told him that I was prepared to show my and bracket to reveal my plan of action and to let our my design knows provided he agreed to do the same. The medical graduates to a man, that is, everyone without expectations voted in favor of him. He initiated on his order being carried out to the letter bracket exactly with adherence to every detail. For a long time he kept his father in a dark bracket in ignorance about the true state of affairs. Success has turned his head, made him quite whiny. Bracket. His star is in the accident. Bracket. That is fortune favors him. The scheme appears worthless at the first plus bracket at first sight. It was him, it was his contest, praying that he might die in unless bracket continue to the last in his business or profession. He has too many irons in the fire, that is, he engaged in too many enterprises at the same time. The silk soldiers were true to their salt, bracket, faithful to their employers. The latest police report says that the situation is now well in hand, bracket, uncontrolled. He was at his wits' end, bracket, quite puzzled at the complete loss how to act. What's the matter with him? He is falling foul of quarreling with everybody. I am sure he won't go back on bracket fail to keep his word. The directors of the company put their heads together, bracket, consulted one another to formulate a new scheme. Do not give ear, bracket, listen to a tale barriers. So far as I could see, there was nothing out of the way, bracket, strange entertainment in the behavior of that stranger. A spite of unrest is in the air, bracket, prevalent, found everywhere. The controversy is likely to create bad blood, bracket, ill feeling, bitterness between the two communities. The rebels surrendered at discretion, bracket, unconditionally. The letter is meant to be read between the lines, that is, it has hidden or unexpressed meaning not apparent on the surface. He was murdered in cold blood, bracket, that is, not in the heat of passion or excitement, but deli- deliberately. Let us have a team in black and white, bracket, in writing on the approach of policeman. The showed a clean pair of heels, bracket, ran away. He has politics on the brain, bracket, constantly in his thoughts and as a sort of momonesia. This will suit you at T exactly. His eldest son of spendthrift is through his side, bracket, a constant source of annoyance to him. I smelled a rat, bracket, have reason to suspect something. I nipped him scheme in the bud, that is, made it fail before it could mature. What would purpose of out of the question, bracket, not to be thought of impossible. The performance was not up to the mark, bracket, quite satisfactory. The long and the short of it, bracket, the simple fact, the whole matter in a few words, is that I do not want to deal with that new firm. I am told he is in the running, bracket, that is, he has good prospects in the competition. Now that he has nothing to fear from me. He is showing his teeth, bracket, adopting a threatening attitude. He changed color, bracket, turned pale. When I questioned him about the attendance, he had made a great mistake in campaigning their clause. But having done it, he stuck to his guns, remained faithful to the cause. This is the time to take stock of, bracket, to survey the whole situation. What's the good of entertaining into negotiation with a man of straw, bracket, a man no substance or consequence? The election champing is just now in full swing. Very active. He is not wise enough to keep his own counsel. To preserve a discreet silence, to be reticent about his options or affairs. That young fellow was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Born in wealthy and luxury. It stands to season uh, in quite clear in an undoubted fact that the rich never have justice done them in place and stories for the people who write or poor. This suits case has stood me in good steady provide useful to me in my travels. You have taken the wind out of my sails made my words or action effective by anticipating them. I took him to task removed him for his carelessness. I have a bone to pick with you, some cause of quarrel with you. It will do not at a pinch, in case of emergency, it hard pressed. When the opportunity came, I paid him back in his own coin, treated him in the same way as he treated me. Just now my hands are full, I am very busy. When opportunity come, it is generally believed that he had a and was conquered in the pole. Explorers in the Arctic regions take their lives in their hands, undergo great risk. Naturally, he fights sky off, bracket, avoids from a feeling of mistrust, dislikes his young nephew, who is Glamper. All his schemes ended in smoke, came to nothing. The police left no stone unturned, used all available means, adopted every possible method of search to trace the clubs. Later on, he became unpopular because he tried to lord it over, to domineer over his follower. As he was growing old, his friend punished him to rest on his lawyers uh, to retire from active life. The the champion will have to look to your lawyers to take care not to lose an P University. I am tired of hearing him harp and same string duel tediously on same subject. His blood ran cold. That is, he was horrified when he heard that his friend was murdered. I gave him peace of my mind. Scolded him. The dog is as good as partially dead. He was as good as his word, that is, kept his promise. The child was as good as gold, that is, very good. You will have to make good the loss to compassionate me as for the loss. He kicked up a row, made great noise or fuss. He seems ill at case, uneasy, anxious, uncomfortable. The old man in art too, in art, old man is hard of hearing, somewhat deaf. It will go hard with him, that is, he will suffer severely. If he keeps company with that fellow, people say that Mr. X, the banker, is on his last legs, on the verge of renew. I can make neither head nor tail, nothing of it. You will never get the better of gain an advantage over that rascal. With him, it's always heads I win, tail you lose. That is, in any case, he will be the winner. But his advocacy of widow remarriage is stripped of a honest nest. Existed the possibility or adverse Christianization of criticism of a large number of people. He made great claims for his discovery, but it turned out to be mare's nest. A disclusion, a worthless thing. One of the very first night she brought down the house, called for general and loud applause by her superb acting. He is very inch, entirely, completely a gentleman. You have done the handsome thing by him. He behaved towards him in a magnanimous manner in accepting his apology and forgiving the claim for damages. He proved his worth by rising to occasion, showing himself equal to dealing with the emergency. For some days, the new professor lectured over the heads of above comparison of his pupils. He know the ins and outs the full details of that appear. He is over head and ears deeply in love or in debate. Beyond all question, undoubtedly, she is a great singer. You want to see him out of the question, that is impossible. The two friends agreed to differ, gave up trying to convince each other. After discussing the question for about an hour. Since that day he has been in a bad order, out of favor, in bad repute with his neighbor. Intimate friends need not stand on ceremony. Act with reserve instead on strict rules of etiquette being observed. He went out of his way. Took special trouble to oblige me. I am afraid you two who are at cross purpose misunderstand each other. I trusted him and he played me false. Received me betray. He is shrewd man and it will not easy to draw him out. To enclick information from him. He made light of treated lightly his friend warning. The proposal was rejected with one voice, unnumerously. The figures which he quoted were shown to be incorrect, and he took the edge of his argument. Made his argument ineffective. We add on the way tea of kind poor of a poor kind, that is tea that scarcely deserved the man. I repaid his insolence in kind in the same way that with insolence. Beware of that fellow. He will stick at nothing. Is uncleanness and will do nothing at accomplishment is purpose. He will not that man to pocket an affront to receive or subscribe to it without retailing or showcasing resentment. I am out of pocket a loser by the transaction. The faith of the assured hangs in the balance in undecided. He is a man of well balanced reasonable moderate options. He was cried off his feet was wild with excitement when he was declared to have won the first prize. He made the most of his opportunity, that is, used it to the best advantage. The that house is put on the market bracket offered for sale. He sometimes work 9 hours at a stretch continuously, but his skill is arguing is carried his point bracket defeated is defeated his advantages in debate. He is serving his time bracket going through an appropriation in bank serves you right, that is, you have got what you deserved. I shall manage to serve him out bracket to relate upon him, to have my revenge on him. He is working against him time bracket with utmost speed. This year the mango crop has fallen short of my expectation bracket has disappointed me. While the members of the committee were discussing questions of finance, I felt like a fish out of water, like one out of each element. That is strange situation. A good student works steadily, not by fit and starts irregularly, comparatively, without steady application. He has made his fortune and now take this easy. Does not work hard. Mr. X first introduced the system of payments by installments and shorty afterwards other look at leaf of his book bracket intimated him prohibited by his example. The secretary of the company was charged with cooking the accounts bracket preparing false accounts. You should take into account bracket consider his past service. You must have life in the bread you have made bracket take the consequence of your own acts suffer for your own misdeeds. He thinks better of it now bracket that is he has thought more careful about it and come to wiser discussion. I am so sure it means business bracket is in earnest. I can't give you a definite reply on the spur of the moment at once without deliberation. It is the thing bracket the proper thing to do. I see you know a thing or two bracket are wise or cunning. He took his failure to heart bracket that is felt it deeply grieved over it. It goes to his heart bracket touches him deeply to see so much mystery. The offer holds good bracket remains binding in is valid for 2 days. It will go hard with him bracket poor sections matter for him. Prove seasons matter for him if his partner retires from business. Do you expect me to be at the beck and call bracket under your absolute control? I am afraid he is burning the candles at both ends, overtaxing his energies. Let us now bury the actual bracket case fighting, make peace, and work of advertisement of the country. Mr. X, who is one of the trustees of certain big charity, is expected of furthering his own nest bracket making money unfairly. It is reported that some ruffians laid hands on bracket assaulted him while he was returning home. It is suspected that he had a hand in bracket was conquered in the plot. As usual, he is blowing his own trumpet, praising himself. The excuses will not pass muster bracket will not be accepted by satisfactory. As a diplomat he was head and shoulders bracket very much above his contemporaries. Old sets of employ Bratina or a drug in the market. Bracket unsealed from lack of demand. The foolish young man made dunks and darks of bracket squatter impersonatory. She knows friends after the passion to create a design or not satisfactory. It is all Greek bracket or herb to me, that is, sometimes which I do not understand. The thief was caught red handed bracket in the art of committing the theft. Late in life is tried is and bracket made any attempt at farming. What you say is neither here nor neither bracket foreign to the subjects under discussion irrelevant. Even his old friend Smith, who had been indebted to him for many favors in the past, gave him the cold shoulder bracket, treated him in a cold and distant manner. If you are thinking credence to Remorse, another great was is on the cards. Bracket not imperable. While he spoke, the audience hung on his lips. Bracket listened earlier to his words. Um, to his words. The speaker urged the community to take drastic action, but they hung fire. Bracket were reluctant, hesitated. He stands well with bracket, is well thought of by his master. He claims that he has given chapter and verse, bracket full and practice reference to authority for every statement made in his book. The editor of the paper is accused for giving a false coloring a bracket mispresenting the incident. Throughout his speech, the boys were all ears bracket deeply attentive. I was all ear eyes, eagerly watching to the what we would do. I know my friend keeps a good table bracket, provides luxurious food, entertains his guests substitutely. With a small income and large family to maintain is find it rather difficulty to keep his head above water bracket to keep out of debate. He will never set themes of on fire, do some remarkable or surprising thing. The scheme came to grief bracket failed owing to want of foresight. You will come to grief bracket be ruined if you follow his advice. I keep the fellow at arm's length, bracket at a distance, that is, I told aloof from him. He is keeping up appearance, bracket, keeping up an outward show of prosperity, although he has lost his whole fortune. Last year, when the price came of age bracket reached the age of 21, he has installed one of his father's throne. Do not trust those men, they are villains to the backbone bracket in every way. You shall go bag and baggage bracket with all your belongings, that is, altogether completely. The account of murder made her blood creep, bracket filled her with horror. The territory is a bone of contention, bracket a subject of dispute between two countries. He took away my breath, bracket very much surprised me when he coolly proposed that I should buy oats. Since his easy success in the election, he has become solemn-headed, bracket, constituted. Whether he addressed public meetings, he cried all before him, bracket, was completely successful. The cashier, having admitted defalcation, was given in charge, bracket, handed over to the police. If thine enemy be hunger, given him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, given him water to drink, for those shall have heap coals of fire upon his head, bracket, return good for evil, and make him ashamed of his enmity, and the Lord shall reward thee. It is mean to crow over, bracket, to trump over a fallen foe. It took up the cudgels for, bracket, defended vigorously his friend. He is crying favor, using mean act to integrate himself with rich neighbor. If if you endorse that promise note, you will cut your own throat, bracket, renewing yourself. His father cut him off with a shilling, discredited him by bequeathing a trifling sum. While he was speaking, his father cut him short, interpreted him. The witness cut a poor figure, bracket, immerse poor impression in his cross examination. When he met me in the street, he cut me dead. Bracket, deliberately insulted me by ignoring me. The act is dead letter. Bracket, no longer in force. A great many faults may be laid at his door. Bracket, inputted to him. But he is certainly not dishonest. We must draw the line, bracket, fix the limit. Somewhere the cost of the new building should not exceed 2 lakhs. Printing is not in my line, bracket, is out of my province. He is the cotton line, that is, he follows the trade. I do not accept him to see eye to eye, bracket, to be in complete agreement with me on the question of prohibition. He failed to get elected, but put a good face on, bracket, bore up courageous his defeat. His speech on economic reform fell flat, bracket, caused no interest, produced no effect. The joke fell flat, bracket, caused no uh, amusement. It is a far cry, bracket, a long way off from Delhi to New York. It is far cry, bracket, no easy transmission from accountancy to democracy. He is far and away, bracket, very much the better of the two players. The story of the skip works, as narrated by the one of the surveyors, made my flesh creep, bracket, horrified me. A panther is an ugly customer, bracket, a formidable person to deal with, bracket, when his blood is up, bracket, he is excited. She is a delicate woman, but has to rough it, bracket, to endure hardship to support her family. He pins his faith to, bracket, place full reliance upon technical education. He sometimes tells lies, so people take his statement with a grain of salt, bracket, doubt. He is not a sort of man to let grass grow under his feet, bracket, to remain idle of prosification. It's not use splitting hairs, bracket, disputing over very pretty points, quibbling about trifles. He is a great hand and expert at organizing public meetings. His observation here beside the mark, bracket, not to the point, irrelevant, not to mighty matters, bracket, to speak unreversibly. Some of these pundits are merry charlatans. Do you worst? I nail my colors to the mast, bracket, refuse to climb down or surrender. Stick to your colors, bracket, refuse to yield, be faithful to the cause.
My boys, the murdered man was found in a state of nature, bracket, naked. This quote fits you a nicety, bracket, exactly. He refused to be led by the nose, bracket, to follow submissively. His wife, who was the daughter of millionaire, turned up her nose at bracket, regarded with contempt her husband's proposal to buy a Ford car. Don't trust your nose into bracket meddle officially in my affairs. Next chapter, uh, chapter 26, punctuation. Punctuation derived from the Latin word a point, called a point, means the right use of putting in points or stop in writing. The following are the principal stops: full stop or period stop, comma, semicolon, colon, question mark, exclamatory mark. Other marks is called common. You use are as the dash, uh, parenthesis, inverted comma, or uh, question marks. The full stop represents the greatest pause and separation. It is used to mark the end of the declaration or an imperative sentence. Example: dear, comma, patient, comma, gentle, comma, noble, Nell was dead. Full stop. A full stop can be used in observation, but they are often omitted in modern style. M. Dot A or MA, M. Dot P or MP, U. Dot N. Dot O or even no. Note that in the current English, Mr. and Mrs. occur without a full stop, as these have common to being regarded as the full spellings. The comma represents the shortest pause and is used to separate series of words in the same contents. As example, England, comma, France and Italy formed an alliances. He lost hands, comma, money, comma, reputation and friends. It was long, comma, dull and wisdom journey. He wrote his exercise neatly, comma, quickly and correctly. Note that a comma is generally not placed before the word preceded by and to separate each pair of words connected by hand. As example, we should be devout and humble, cheerful as greenery. High and low, rich and poor, wise and foolish must all die. After a nominative absolute, example, this done, comma, she returned to the old man with a lovely smile on her face. The wind being affordable, the subsequent sailed. The genius making me no answer, I turned about to address myself to him a second time. To mark of a noun or praise in opposition, as Paul, the was beheaded in the region of Narrow. Milton, the great English poet, was blind. Pandit Nehru, the Prime Minister of India, died in 1964. To mark off words used in addressing people, come into the garden, comma, Mahud. How are you, Mohan? Lord of the universe, shielded us and guided us. But when the words are empathetic, we thought to use the note of exclamation. Example: monster by thee, my child's devoured. To mark off two or more adverbs or adverbial phrases coming together. Example: then, at length, ready justice was done to the memory of Oliver. Before and after a participle phrase, provided that the phrase might be expanded into a sentence and it not used in a merely qualifying sense. Example: having conquered his enemies, return to Romeo. Before and after words, praise or clauses let into the body of sentence. Example: he did not, comma, however, comma, gain his object. Full stop. It is mind, comma, after all, comma, which does the work of the world. Full stop. His behavior, comma, to say the least, comma, was very rude. full stop. His story was in several ways, improbable, full stop. Let there be no strife, I pray thee, between thee and me, full stop. The essay writers, whose work consisted in a great measure of short moral distress, set the literary taste of the age. The people of orphanage, when they first saw her in their city, thought she was an angel. To indicate the omission of a word, especially a verb. Example: Rama received a Parker pen, a semicolon, Harry, a watch. He was a Brahmin, semicolon, she, a Rajput. She will succeed, he will succeed, semicolon, you, never. To separate short to separate short coordinate clauses of a compound sentence. Example: the rain descended and the floods came. Men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. I came, I came, I saw, I conquered. The way was long, the wind was cold. The minister was infirm and old. When there is conjunction, the comma is sometimes omitted, as he came and saw me. To mark off a direct question from a reset of a sentence. Example: exactly so, said Alliance. He said to his disciples, watch and pray. Go then, said the hand, and dance winter away. Before certain coordinative conjunctions, as to act thus is not wisdom but folly. To separate from the verb a large subject opening a sentence, as the injustice of sentence pronounced upon the great scientist and discovered is now evident to us all. All that we admired and adore before as great and magnificent is obliterated or vanished. To separate a noun clause, whether subject or object preceding the verb. Example: whatever is right. How we are ever to get there, is the question. That he would succeed in his undertaking, no one ever doubted. To separate a clause that is not restrictive in meaning but is coordinative with the principal clause. Example: sailors who are generally superlatives say it say it is unlucky to embark on the Friday. During my stay in Sri Lanka, I visited Minatli, which is regarded as cradle of Buddhism. When the adjective clause is restrictive in meaning, the comma should not be applied. Example: this is house that Jack built. The Lord is nigh up to them that are of a broken heart. The echoes of the storm which was then raised I still hear grumbling round me. The design was disapproved by everyone whose judgment was entitled to respect. To separate an adverbial clauses from its principal clause. Example: when I was a bachelor, I lived myself. If through would said be happy, seek to please. When the adverb clause follows the principal clause, the comma is frequently omitted, as seek to please if thou would said be happy. The semicolon represent a pause of greater importance that than that show by comma. It is used to separate the clauses of compound sentence when they contain a comma, semicolon, as comma. Example: he was a brave, large-hearted man, semicolon, and we all honored him. To separate a series of losing relative clauses. Example: her coat was pure, semicolon, her life screened, semicolon, God gave her peace, semicolon, her land reposed, dot. Today we love what tomorrow we eat. semicolon. Today we seek what tomorrow we shun, semicolon. Today we desire what tomorrow we fear. The colon marks a still more complete pause than the expressed by the semicolon. It is used bracket sometime with a dash after it. Example, to introduce a question questioned. Example, Bacon says reading marks a full man, writing an extract man, speaking is a ready man. Before embroideration, examples, etc. As the principal parts of a verb in English are the present tense, the past tense, and the past participle. The limitation of arrangements, the acceptance of attribution as a natural solvent of international disputes, the relation of wars of ambition and aggregation to the categories of absolute follies. These will be milestones which make the stage of the road between sentence grammatically independent but closely connected in sense. Example, study to acquire a habit of thinking. No study is more important. The question mark is used instead of a full stop after a direct question. Example, have you written your exercise? Question mark. If you are prick us, do we not bleed? Question mark. If you trickle us, do we not laugh? Question mark. If you poison us, do we not die? Question mark. After, if you wrong us, shall we not have revenge? Question mark. But the question mark is not used after an indirect question, as he asked me whether I had written my exercise. No question mark should be used. The exclamation mark is used after interjection and after praises and sentence expressing sudden emotion or wish. A semicolon as comma. Alas, oh dear, what a treble fire this is. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen. Semicolon. Exclamatory symbol. Long live the king! Exclamatory symbol. Note that when the interjection O is placed before the nominative of address, the exclamation mark is employed at all, comes after the noun, or it may be placed at the end of the sentence as, "Oh father, I hear the sound of guns. Oh Hamlet, speak no more." Inverted commas are used to enclose the exact words of a speaker as a quotient. Example, I inverted comma, I would rather die, inverted comma closes, comma, exclaimed, inverted comma, then join the uppers of my country, inverted comma closes. Barber is said my elephant to have been, inverted comma, the most admirable prize that ever resigned in Asia, inverted comma closes. If a question occurs with a quotient, it is marked by the single inverted commas, semicolon, as comma. Example, you might as well as added the mark carry that I think what I get is the same thing as I get what I like. The dash is used to indicate an attribute stop or change of thought. As example, if my husband were alive, but why laminate the past? To resume a scattered subject as friends, companions, relatives, comma, all deserted him. The hyphen, a short line that a dash is used to connect parts of compound words as passer by, man of war, jack of all trades. It is also used to connect parts of a word divided at the end of line. Parentheses or double dash or are used to separate from the main part of the sentence a phrase or clauses which do not grammatically belong to it, as he gained from heaven. It was all he wished. A friend, a remarkable instance of this kind of courage. Call it, if you please, result will is given in the history of Barber. A apostrophe is used to show the omission of the letter or letters, as don't ever lie in the generative case of nouns. To form the plural of letters and figures, do you is and cross your T's. Add two fives and two fours. Capital letters. Capitals are used to begin a sentence, to begin each fresh line of poetry, to begin all proper nouns and adjectives derived from them. Example: Delhi, Rama, Africa, African, Shakespeare, Shakespearean. For all nouns and pronouns which indicate the deity, example: the Lord, he is a God. To write the pronoun I and the interjection O. Chapter 27: Spelling Rules. Final content: one syllable words ending in single vowel plus single consonant. Double the consonant before a suffix begin with a vowel. Beg plus ed is equal to begged. Rob plus er is equal to robber. Running plus ing is equal to running. Sad plus est is equal to saddest. But wish plus ed, wished, two consonants. Fear plus ing is equal to fearing, two vowels. Words of two or three syllables ending in single vowel plus single consonant, double the final consonant if the last syllable is stressed. Being plus ing, begin plus ing is equal to beginning. Occur plus ed, occurred. Permit plus ed, permitted. Control plus er is equal to controller. These words are exception, worship, kidnap, and handicap. Worship plus ed, worship. Handicap plus ed, handicapped. Kidnap plus er, kidnapper. In British English, the consonant L is doubled even if stress do not fall on the last syllable. Quarrel plus ed, quarrelled. Travel plus er, traveler. Single plus ring, singling. Distill plus er, distiller. Note the acceptance: parallel plus ed, paralleled. If the word to which the suffix full is added ends in double L, the second L is dropped. Skill plus ful is equal to skillful. Will plus ful is equal to willful. Final. Words ending in silent E drop the E before a suffix begin with a vowel. Live plus ing, living. Move plus ed, moved. Drive plus er, driver. O plus ing, oping. The E remains before a suffix beginning with a consonant. O plus full is equal to hopeful. Engage plus meant is equal to engagement. Know the acceptations. True is true plus ly is equal to truly. Due plus ly is equal to duly. Argue plus meant is equal to argument. Whole plus ly is equal to wholly. Nine plus th is equal to ninth. Away plus full is equal to how full. Notice the special case of words ending in ce and ge with which keep the e with ending able and os. Notice plus able, noticeable. Peace plus able, peaceable. Change plus able, changeable. Courage plus us, courageous. In such words, the C and G are pronounced soft before E. Sometimes the E is retained to avoid confusion with a similar word. Sing plus ing, singing, avoids confusion with singing. Swing plus ing, swinging, avoids confusion with swinging. Words ending in double E do not drop an E before a suffix. See plus ing, seeing. Agree plus meant is equal to agreement. Words ending in I change the I to Y when ing is added. Die, dying. Tie, tying. Lie, lying. Finally, a final Y following a consonant change to I before a suffix except ing. Happy plus ly happily. Carry plus ed carried. Marry plus age is equal to marriage. Beauty plus full is equal to beautiful. But carry plus ing is equal to carrying. Marry plus ing is equal to marrying. But y following a vowel does not change. Pray plus ed prayed. Player plus er player. Notice a few exceptions. Mm, Pay plus ed paid. Say plus ed said. Lay plus ed laid. Day plus ly daily. Grey plus ly gaily. IE or EI. When IE or EI is pronounced like double E in Jeep, I comes before E, except after C. Believe, receive, relieve, recept, achieve, deceive, grieve, deceit, yield, conceive, field, conceit. Some acceptance, size, portion, protein, worried. Chapter 28, the formation of words. Words which are not derived or compounded or developed from the other words are called primary words. They belong to the original stock of words in the language. Compound words formed by joining two or more simple words. Example: moonlight, nevertheless, undertaken, man of war. Primary derivatives formed by making some change in the body of simple word. Example: bond from bind, bridge from break, work from ring. Note: the most important class of work formed by internal change consists of past tense of primary verbs which are not usually classed as derivatives. Secondary derivatives from by and addition to the beginning or the end. Example: unhappy, semicolon, goodness. An addition to the beginning of a word is a prefix, an addition to the ending is a suffix. Compound words. Compound words are the form of most part nouns, adjectives, and verbs. Compound nouns may be formed from noun plus noun. Example: moonlight, chessboard, armature, postman, railway, airman, fire escape, jailbird, horsepower, shoemaker, ringleader, screwdriver, taxpayer, teaspoon, hashtag windmill. Adjective plus noun. Example: sweetheart, nobleman, shorthand, blackboard, quicksilver, stronghold, halfpenny. Example: verb plus noun. Example: spendthrift, makeshift, breakfast, telltale, pickpocket, cutthroat, cut purse, daredevil, scarecrow, hangman. Noun: drawing room, writing desk, looking glass, walk stick, bolting paper, stepping stone, spelling book. Adverb or preposition plus noun. Example: outlaw, afterthought, forethought, foresight, workout, downfall, afternoon, bypass, inmate, offshoot, inside. 6. Verb plus adverb. Example: draw back, look up, go between, die hard, send off. Adverb plus verb. Example: outset, upkeep, outcry, income, outcome. Secondary derivatives formed by an addition to the beginning or the end, as unhappy, goodness. An addition to the beginning of word is prefix and addition to the end is a suffix. Note that the most important class of words formed by internal change consists of a past tense of primary verbs which are not usually classed as derivatives. Compound adjectives may be formed from noun plus adjective, comma, or participle, as blood red, sky blue, snow white, pinch dark, breast eye, skin deep, pursue proud, lifelong, worldwide, headstrong, homesick, stone blind, seasick, noteworthy, heart reading, ear piercing, time serving, moth eaten, heartbroken, bedridden, handmaid, sea girl, love lorn. Adjective plus adjective. Example red hot, blue black, white hot, dully grey, lukewarm. Adverb plus participle. Example long suffering, everlasting, never ending, top breed, well deserved, outspoken, downhearted, far seen, inborn. Compound verbs may be formed from noun plus verb. Example waylay, backbite, typewrite, browbeat, earmark, earmark. Adjective plus verb. Example safeguard, whitewash, fulfill. Adverb plus verb. Example overthrow, overtaken, foretell, undertake, undergo, overhear, overdo, outbid, outdo, upset, ill use. Primary derivatives. Formation of nouns from verbs and adjectives. Verbs advise, bear, blind, bless, break, burn, choose, chop, deal, deem, dig, float. Nouns, verbs, nouns. Verbs advise, advise, bear, beer, bind, bond, bills, bills, break, bridge, burn, brand, choose, choice, chop, chip, deal, dole, deem, dumb, ditch, dig, dick, float, fleet. Mm, Verbs grape, grap, nouns greed, grid, grieve, grief, live, life, lose, loss, prove, proof, sing, song, sit, sit, speak, speech, strike, stroke, strive, strife, walk, watch, wave, web. Adjectives dull, hot, proud, nouns pride, dolt, heat. Formation of adjectives from verbs and nouns. Verbs float, lie. Adjectives fleet, flow. Noun milk, wheat. Adjectives milk, wise. Formation of verbs from nouns and adjectives. Nouns bath, verbs bathe, belief, believe, blood, bleed, bread, breed, breath, breath, broad, breed, cloth, cloth, drop, drip, food, feed, glass, glaze. Nouns gold, verbs glide, grass, grace, half, half, not, price, price, sale, sell, smooth, smoothie, tell, tell, thief, thief, weather, weather, cool, chill, hail, heel. Secondary derivatives. English prefix a, on, in, abed, abroad, ashore, sleep. A, out, from, arise, awake, alight. B, by, sometimes, investive, beside, betimes, smear, bedub. For, thoroughly, forbid, forgive. For, before, forecast, foretell. Gain, against, gainsay. In, income, inland, inlay. Miss, wrong, wrongly, misdeed, misled, misjudge. Over, above, beyond, overflow, overcharge. 2. This, today, tonight, tomorrow. Un, not, untuned, unkind, unholy. Un, to reserve an action, undo, unfold. Under, beneath, below, undersell, under discharge, undergo, underground. With, against, back, withdraw, withhold, withstand. Note, there are only two prefixes of English origin that are still applied freely to new words, miss and un, the form of with the force of adjective bad and the latter with the force of a negative. Latin prefix and Greek prefix. AB from away, abuse, avert, abstract. AD to adjoin, accord, affect, aggrieve, allege, announce, appoint. Ambi on both sides around ambiguous ambition amplitude anti before antecedent and anticipate ancestor bene well beneficent benefit been twice two biscuit binoculars around circumulate negative circumference circuit com core with together content to collect combine collect correct counter against content construct um, counterfeit d down descend dethrone depose dis apart disjoin differ divide demi of demi demigod x out of extract effect extra behind outside of extraordinary extravagant in into invade illustrate immerse irrigate intact embrace in not insecure illegal imprudent irregular inter among within intervenes introduce entertain male ill badly male owned male content nonsense in a way of against objective occupy often pen almost penultimate peninsula per through pervade pellucida post after postscript post date postpone pre before prefix prevent predict peter behind peter natural pro for pronoun portray pursue re back gain reclaim refound renew return retro re backwards retrospect retrograde said apart skid separate schedule sedition semi half semicircle semicolon sign without sinecure sub under subdued succeed suffer suggest suppon suppo- support substone sustain subter beneath subfers super above supreme supros trans across transmit transfer transverse vice in the place of victory vice president greek prefix and without not atheist apathy anchory amphi around on both sides amphitheater ambiguous ana up back anchor analysis anti against antipathy antagonist from apostate apology arc chef auto self autocrat autobiography autograph kata down cataract castrope catalog die twice dilemma diatro diagonal diameter dice badly diaspia dysentery n in encyclopedia emblem epi upon epilogue epitheta you well epilogue evopony evogenes x out of exodus extritic emi of inspire homo like homogeneous hypo under hypothesis meta implying change metaphor metanoxy mono alone single monoplan.
Chapter 29, Figures of Speech. A figure of speech is a departure from the ordinary form of expression or the ordinary course of ideas in order to produce a greater effect. Figures of speech may be classified as under four types: those based on resemblance, such as simile, metaphor, personification, and apostrophe. Second one, those based on contrast, such as antithesis and epigram. Third one, those based on association, such as metonymy and syndromy. Fourth one, those depending on construction such as climax and anticlimax. Simile. In a simile, a comparison is made between two objects of different kinds which have aware at least one point in common. The simile is usually introduced by such words as like, as, or so. Example: the Retigrius shall flourish as the plum tree. The Aristrine came down like a wolf on the flood. As a heart panteth after the water brooks, so panteth my soul after thee, O God. Words are like leaves, and where they most abound, much fruit of sense beneath is rarely found. How far the little candle throws his beams, so shines a good deed is a naughty word. Life is a tenderness as a twice told tale, vexing the dull ear of a drowsy man. The soul was like a star and dwelt apart. To hardest a voice whose sound was like a sea. O my love's like a red rose that's newly sprung in June. O my love's like a melody that sweetly played in tune. The following are some common similes of everyday speech. Mad as March, airy, as proud as a peacock, as bold as brass, as tough as leather, as clear as crystal, as good as gold, as old as the hills, as cold as cucumber. Note that a comparison of two things of same kind is not a simile. Metaphor. Metaphor is a implied simile. It does not like the simile state that one thing is like another or acts as another, but takes that for granted and proceed as if the two things were one. Thus, when we say he fought like a lion, we use a simile, but when we say he was a lion in the fort, we use a metaphor. Example: the camel is the ship of the desert. Life is a dream. The news was a dagger to his heart. Revenge is a kind of wild justice. Note that every simile can be compressed into a metaphor and every metaphor can be expanded into a simile. Thus, instead of saying Richard fought like a lion. Simile, we can say Richard was a lion in the fight. Metaphor. Similarly, instead of saying the is the ship of the desert. Metaphor. We may expand it and say, as the ship is used for crossing the ocean, so the camel is used for crossing the desert. Simile. Other examples: variety is the spice of life. Metaphor. As spicy flavors food, so variety makes life more pleasant. Simile. The waves broke on the shore with a noise like thunder. Simile. The waves thundered on the shore. Metaphor. Note that metaphor should never be mixed. That is, an object should not be identified with two or more different things in the same sentence. The following is a typical example of what is called a mixed metaphor. I smell a rat. I see it flowing in the air, but I will nip it in the bud. Personification. In personification, inanimate objects and abstract notation are spoken as having life and intelligence. Example: in Xenox, strength the abbey forwarded, laughter holding both her sides. Death lays his icy hand on kings. Pride growth for the horseback grand and gay, but come back on foot and begs it way. Apostrophe. An apostrophe is a direct address to the dead, to the absent, or to a personified object or idea. This figure is a special form of personification. Example: Milton, thou shouldst be living at this hour. Oh friend, I know what which way I must look for comfort. Roll number. To deep and dark blue ocean roll. A death where the sting, or grave where the victory. A liberty, what crimes what have been committed in the name, have mentioned all the banners wave and charge with all the clarity. O judgment to art field to burnish beast, a soldier where the charms the stage have been in my face. Hyperbole. In hyperbole, a statement is made empathetic by overstatement. Example: yes, the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Why, man, if the river were dry, I am able to fill it with tears. Hamlet, too, has cleft my heart in twin. Surely never lightened on his above which she hardly seemed to touch a more delightful vision that astronaut. I loved Opeli 40,000 brothers could not with all their quantity of love make up the sum. Antithesis. In antithesis, a striking opposition or contrast of words or segments is made in the same sentence. It is employed to secure emphasis. Example: man propose, God dispose. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Better 50 years of Europe than a cycle of Catini. Give every man the ear, but few the wise. Speech is civilian, but silence is golden. To err is human, to forgive divine. Many are called, but few are chosen. He ad is just, and the ad is cast. A man's nature runs either to herbs or weeds. Therefore, let him seriously water the one and destroy the other. Oxymoron. Oxymoron is a special form of antithesis whereby two contradictory qualities are predict at once of the same thing. Example: his honor rooted in disorder stood, and faith unfaithful kept him falsely true. So incorrect are our cunning simply. She accepted it is the kind of clarity of knife. Epigram. An epigram is a brief pointed saying frequently introducing article ideas which exit surprise and arrest attention. Examples: the child is father of the man. The man can be too careful in the choice of his enemies. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. In the midst of life, we are in death. Art lies in counseling her. He makes no friend who never made a foe. Know then thyself, pursue not God to scan. The proper study of mankind is man. A fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be fool. Lie heavy on him, earth for he laid many a heavy load on thee. Here lies of sovereign Lord the King, whose word no man realize on, who never said a foolish thing. Climax is the agreement of series of ideas in order to increase importance. Example: simple, abstract, sublime. What a piece of work is man! How noble is reason! How infinite in faculties! In action, how like an angel! In a passion, How like a god. Anticlimax is the opposition of climax, a sudden descent from higher to lower. Example: does sometimes counsel take and sometimes tea. Chapter 30: Verb partners or patterns. Pattern 1: Subject plus verb. This is the simplest of verb pattern. The subject is followed by an intransitive verb which express complete sense without the help of any other words. First column, there are two columns. In first column there is a subject and second column verb. In first column, birds fly. uh, in first column, subject birds. Second column, fly. Fire burns. The moon is shining. The baby is crying. Kamala was singing. The bell has rung. The sun rose. The sun rose. Pattern 2: Subject plus verb plus subject complement. The complement usually consists of a noun, example 1 and 2, a pronoun 3 and 4, or an adjective 5, 6, 7, and 8. There are three columns: subject, verb, subject complement. This is a subject, is a verb, a pen is a subject complement. His brother become a soldier. It is me. That book is mine. Gopal looks sad. My father grew angry. The children kept quiet. The milk has turned sour. Pattern 3: Subject plus verb plus direct object. There are three columns: subject, verb, direct complement. I is a subject, no is a verb, direct complement is address. I know his address. The boy has lost his pen. Mohan opened the door. Who broke the jug? Mr. Pitt has brought a car. You must wash yourself. We should help the poor. Pattern 4: Subject plus verb plus indirect object plus direct object. There are four columns: subject, verb, indirect complement, direct complement. I, subject, lent, verb, ear, indirect complement, my pen, direct complement. I lent her my pen. The teacher gave us homework. We gave We have paid him the money. The old man told us the whole story. You must tell the police the truth. I have brought my sister a watch. He didn't leave us any. Show me your hands. Here subject will not come. In last example, subject will not come. Partner 5 or pattern 5: subject plus verb plus direct object plus preposition plus prepositional object. There are five columns: subject plus verb plus direct object plus preposition plus prepositional object. I is a subject, lent is a verb, my pen is a direct object, to is a preposition, a friend of mine is a prepositional object. I lent my pen to a friend of mine. The teacher gave homework to all of us. We have paid the money to the administrator. He told the news to everybody in the village. He promised the money to me, not to you. I have brought a watch for my sister. My Mr. Raman sold his car to a man from Mumbai. She made coffee for all of us. Many verbs can be used both in pattern 4 and in pattern 5. Pattern 5 is preferred when the direct object is less important or when the indirect object is longer than the direct object. Partner Pattern 6: Subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus adjective. Subject plus verb. There are four columns: subject, verb, noun or pronoun, adjective. The boy. is a subject, pushed is a verb, the door is a noun or pronoun, opened is an adjective. The boy pushed the door open. The smith beat it flat. She washed the plates clean. The thief broke the safe open. He turned the lamp low. You have made your shirt dirty. I like my coffee strong. We found the trunk empty. In example 1 to 6, the adjective denotes a state of results from the action expressed by that word. In the last two examples of noun and the adjective combined to the object of the verb, verbs used in the pattern include get, keep, bet, drive, make, paint, live, turn, find, like, wish. Pattern 7. Subject plus verb plus preposition plus prepositional object. There are four columns: subject, verb, preposition, prepositional object. We is a subject. Are waiting is a verb. For preposition, Suresh, prepositional object. We are waiting for Suresh. He agreed to our proposal. You cannot count on his help, or you can't count on his help. These books belong to me. His uncle met with an accident. She complained of his rudeness. He failed in his attempt. Pattern A, subject plus verb to plus to infinitive bracket as object of the verb. There are two columns: subject plus verb plus to infinitive etc bracket object of the verb. She subject wants verb to go in to infinitive. She wants to go. I forgot to the post the letter. He fears to speak in public. They intend the postpone the trip. Ramesh propose to go into business. We would like to visit the museum. I hope to get a first class. He decided not to go there. The commonest verbs used in this pattern are like, love, prefer, begin, start, agree, try, attempt, choose, continue, intend, propose, desire, wish, want, hate, dislike, hope, accept, promise, refuse, fear, remember, forget, offer, and learn, etc. Pattern 5. Subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus to infinitive. There are four columns: subject, verb, noun or pronoun to infinitive, etc. I is a subject. Would like is a verb. Would like is a verb. You is a noun. To stay is a to infinitive. I would like you, you to stay. We asked him to go. He helped me to carry the box. She advised him to study medicine. The doctor ordered Gopi to stay in the bed. They warned us not to be late. I can't allow you to smoke. Who taught you to swim? Question mark. The chief, the chief verbs used in this pattern include ask, tell, order, command, pursue, encourage, urge, want, wish, request, intent, accept, force, tempt, teach, invite, help, warn, like, love, hate, allow, permit, remind, cause, mean, and dare, etc. Pattern 10. Subject plus verb plus granted. Subject, there are three columns: subject, verb, granted. She is a subject, began is a verb, singing is a granted. She began singing. He has finished talking. I hate borrowing money. You mustn't miss seeing him. Mr. Banjira loves teaching. My brother enjoys playing cricket. I suggest burning that letter. Here, in last example, subject will not come. Direct do verb and uh, grind will come. Don't keep saying that. In this pattern, the grind is the object of the verb. The chief uh, verbs used in this pattern include begin, start, comma love, comma like, comma eat, comma stop, comma finish, comma enjoy, comma prefer, comma fear, comma remember, comma forget, comma mind, comma miss, comma suggest, comma practice, comma try, comma understand, comma keep, comma help, comma advise, comma admit, comma avoid, comma consider, comma intend, comma delay, comma deny, comma begun and begun, etc. Pattern 11, subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus present participle. There are four columns: subject plus subject, verb, noun or pronoun, present participle. I is a subject, saw is a verb, him is a noun or pronoun, crossing the bridge is a present participle. I saw him crossing the bridge. We smell something burning. We noticed the boy walking down the street. She caught him opening your letters. They found him playing cards. She kept the fire burning. Here, subject will not come. Direct verb, please, or start the clock going. Who taught you to swim? The verbs used in this pattern include see, hear, smell, feel, watch, notice, find, observe, listen, get, catch, keep, leave, set, and start, etc. Pattern 12, subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus plain infinitive. There are four columns: subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus plain infinitive. I is a subject, saw is a verb, him is a noun or pronoun, go out is a plain infinitive. I saw him go out. She watched him steal the watch. We heard her singing. The thief felt someone touch his arm. Here, subject will not come. Direct verb, let me go. We made Tom behave well. He bade them leave the house. Pattern 13, subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus past participle. There are four columns: subject, verb, noun or pronoun, past participle. I is a subject. I heard is a verb. My name is a noun or pronoun. Called is a past participle. I heard my name called. I want this letter typed. She felt herself lifted up. Lifted up. You should get that tooth pulled out. He had his suit cleaned. We found the house desert. He bade them leave the house. The verbs used in this pattern are see, hear, find, feel, want, wish, like, make, prefer, get, have. Pattern 14, subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus bracket to be plus complement. The complement may be an adjective, phrase, or noun. There are four columns: subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus to be plus complement. Example: I is a subject, consider is a verb, the plane is a noun or pronoun, to be or unwise is a complement. I considered the plain bracket to be unwise. We thought him bracket to be foolish. People supposed him bracket to be a pilot. The court uh, appointed her guardian of orphan child. They reported Robert bracket to be a relatable person. The club chose Mr. Surrender Treasures. She called him a fool. The chief words used in this pattern are appoint, comma, choose, comma, elect, comma, make, comma, call, comma, name, comma, nominate, comma, crown, comma, Christian. Pattern 16, subject plus verb plus that clause bracket object plus verb. There are three columns: subject, verb, that clause bracket object of the verb. I suppose bracket that he is not at home. I is a subject, suppose is a verb. He is not at home is a that clause. Um, I accept bracket that it will train. We hoped you would succeed. He say he has met your uncle. The teacher said he was very busy. Padma suggested that we should go to the park. He admitted that he had written the letter. They complained that they had not been fairly treated. They, that is often omitted, especially after say, think, suppose, hope, except among the following important verbs used in this pattern are say, think, suppose, imagine, know, believe, admit, confess, declare, suggest, complain, hope, accept, fear, hear, attend, notice, propose, show, understand, and wonder, etc. Pattern 16, subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus that clause. There are four columns: subject, verb, noun or pronoun or that clause. Subject E, verb is told, noun or pronoun is me. That he was coming on Sunday, that clause. He told me he was coming on Sunday. I warned him that there were pickpockets in the crowd. She has assured me that she is ready to help. When you promised us that you would be here at 5, we have informed him that we are leaving this afternoon. He satisfied me that he could do this work well. The chief words used in this pattern are tell, uniform, promise, warn, remind, teach, assure, satisfy. Example and etc. Pattern 17, subject plus verb plus inaugurative plus clause. There are two columns: subject, verb, inaugurative plus clauses. I is a subject, asked is a verb, where he was going is an inaugurative plus clause. Example, I asked where he was going. Nobody knows when he will arrive. I wonder what he wants. She showed how annoyed she was. Tom could not decide what he should do next. I can't imagine why she has behaved like that. Here, in last example, subject will not come direct or find out when the train is due. The important verbs used in this pattern are say, ask, wonder, know, believe, imagine, decide, discuss, understand, show, reveal, find out, suggest, tell, bracket, especially in the inaugurative and negative. Pattern 18, subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus inaugurative plus clause. There are four Therefore, columns subject, verb, noun or pronoun plus interrogative plus cause. She asked me when you had gone. Example, she is a subject, asked is a verb, noun or pronoun is a me, when you had gone is a interrogative plus clause. In second example, subject will not come direct, tell us what it is. Direct verb will come, tell us what it is. In third example, I showed them how they should do it. In fourth example, subject will not come, direct verb, please advise me what should I do. In fifth also same, please inform me where I should turn off the road. Can you tell me where he lives? The chief words used in this pattern are tell, ask, show, teach, advise, inform. Pattern 19, subject plus verb plus inaugurative plus to infinite. There are two brackets, or there are two to three column: subject plus verb plus inaugurative plus to infinitive, etc. I is a subject, don't know is a verb, how to do it is a interrogative plus to infinitive. I wonder where to spend the weekend. She knows how to drive a car. He forgot when to turn. Tom couldn't decide what to do next. We must find way to put it. In seventh example, subject will not come, direct verb will apply. Remember how to do it. Can you tell me? The commonest verbs used in this pattern are known, comma, understand, comma, wonder, comma, remember, comma, forget, comma, decide, comma, settle, comma, find out, comma, inquiry, comma, see, comma, explain, comma, guess, comma, learn, comma, consider. Pattern 20, subject plus verb plus noun or pronoun plus interrogative plus to infinitive. There are four columns: subject, verb, noun or pronoun, interrogative to infinitive. I shall show you how to operate it. Example: I is a subject, verb is a shall show, noun or pronoun is a you. How to operate it is a interrogative or to infinitive. I shall show you how to operate it. She has taught me how to play chess. They informed us where to turn off the road. In fourth example, subject will not come. Please advise me. Direct word will apply. Please advise me what to do. In fifth also same, direct verb will apply. Please tell us how to get there. We asked him where to get tickets. The chief verbs used in this pattern are those illustrated in the table. Chapter 31, Question tags, short answers, etc. Question tags, it is a common practice in conversation to make a statement and ask for confirmation as it very hot, isn't it? It's very hot, isn't it? Question mark. The later part, isn't it, is called a question tag. The pattern is auxiliary plus ent plus subject plus if statement is positive. Second auxiliary plus subject if statement is negative. It's raining, isn't it? You are free, aren't you? Question mark. She can swim well, can't she? Gopi broke the glass, did he? Your sister cooks well, does she? You aren't by, are you? She can't swim, can she? Mohan does not work hard, does she? Or he? They haven't come yet, have they? Note the subject of the question tag is always a pronoun, never a noun. Note these peculiarities. Example: I am right, aren't I? Let's go to the beach, shall we? Wait a minute, can you? Have some more rice, will you? There is mosquito in the street, is there? There are some girls in your class, aren't they? Somebody I have called, haven't they? Question mark. Short answers. The following is the most unusual form of the short answers to verbal questions. That is, questions beginning with an auxiliary s plus pronoun plus auxiliary, or example, noun plus pronoun plus auxiliary plus don't. Are you going to school? Yes, I am. No, I am not. Can you drive a car? Yes, I can. No, I can't. Is your son married? Yes, he is. No, he isn't. Does when you work hard? Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Did he say anything? Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Agreement and disagreement with statement. Agreement with affirmative statements are made with yes, or so, or of course plus pronoun plus auxiliary. It is good film. Yes, it is. Mohan has already come. So he has. He can speak Hindi very well. Of course he can. He looks dishonest. Yes, he does. Agreements with negative statements are made with no plus pronoun plus auxiliary plus don't. The apples aren't good. No, they aren't. She does like fish. No, she doesn't. He can't help coughing. No, he can't. They haven't played well. No, they haven't. Disagreements with affirmative statements are made with no, oh, no, plus pronoun plus auxiliary plus not, but is used to disagreement with a question or an assumption. He is drunk. No, he isn't. You are joking. Oh no. Oh no, I'm not. Why did you beat him? But I didn't. I suppose she knows Bengali. I suppose she knows Bengali, but she doesn't. Disagreements with negative statement or and with O, S, or O, but the pronoun plus auxiliary. You can't understand it. Yes, I can. He won't come back, but he will. He will not know. He will know him. Oh, yes, I do. I didn't drink it. Oh, but you did. Addition to remarks. Affirmative addition to affirmative remarks are made with so plus auxiliary plus subject. Example, Anand likes orange, so do I. She must go home, so must I. He was late for some meeting, so were you. I have finished any homework, so as my sister. Negative addition to negative remark are made with nor neither plus auxiliary plus subject. Ramesh doesn't like sweets, nor do I. He didn't believe it, neither did I. I can't do the sum, nor can my father. Tom wasn't there, neither was Peter. Negative addition to affirmative remarks are made with but plus subject plus auxiliary plus not. He knows German, but I don't. I understand the joke, but Mary didn't. He knows how to cook, but his wife doesn't. I can play chess, but my brother can't. Affirmative additions to negative remark are made with but plus subject plus auxiliary. He doesn't know her full stop, but I do. I didn't see the film, but Gopi did. He can't play cricket, but I can. She wasn't late, but you were. Chapter 32. More structures. Preparatory, there plus B plus subject, there are two columns, there plus B, subject, etc. There is a book on the desk. There is a there plus B. Subject is a book on the desk. There is a hotel near the station. There is a lamp beside a bed. There was someone at the door. There are 12 months in a year. There are plenty of pins in a drawer. The structure there plus be is generally used when the subject is indefinite. That is, when the subject is preceded by a, comma, an, comma, some, comma, much, comma, many, comma, a, comma, few, comma, etc. To infinitive after adjectives expressing emotion of desire. There are three columns: subject plus verb, adjective plus and to infinitive, etc. We were subject plus verb, adjective glad to see him, to infinitive. We were glad to see him. She is afraid to go alone. My brother is eager to join the army. I shall be happy to accept the invitation. He was anxious to meet you. They are impatient to start. It plus be plus adjective plus of plus noun or pronoun plus to be to infinitive. It plus be. It is adjective kind of noun or pronoun of cause of you to infinitive to help us. It is kind of you to help us. It was clever of Mohan to find his way here. It was careless of her to make a mistake. It was unwise to me lend him money. It was foolish of Mr. Ramesh to accept the office. It is wicked or of him, example, to say such things. The following adjectives can be used in pattern: kind, good, generous, considerate, uh, foolish, stupid, unwise, clever, vile, nice, no, wrong, polite, have, crowdly, skilly, wicked, uh, wicked, cruel, careless, etc. To infinitive after easy, difficult, hard, impossible, etc. Subject, there are three columns: subject plus verb, adjective to infinite. This is a book, subject plus verb, adjective easy to read is a infinitive. This rug is difficult to wash. These actions are impossible to justify. The subject is hard to understand. Hard to understand. His speech was difficult to follow. The food is difficult to digest. The medicine is pleasant to take. It plus be plus adjective plus to infinitive. There are three columns: it plus be, adjective, to infinitive, etc. It is a it plus be. Easy is a adjective. To learn Hindi is a to imperative, infinitive, etc. It is example. It is easy to learn Hindi. It will be difficult to give up smoking. It may be difficult to get this job. It is easy to learn Hindi. It is bad to borrow money. It is cruel to treat animals in that way. It was impossible to lift the box. Oh. It plus be plus not good, etc. plus general phrases. There are two columns: it plus be, general phase. It is not good, it to be. Asking him for the help is a phase. It was no good talking to her. It no use worrying about it. It is worthy seeing the film. It was worthwhile seeing the exhibition. It is amusing watching monkeys. It has been pleasant meeting you. It plus be plus adjective or noun plus noun clause. It plus be adjective, noun clauses. It is strange that you should have been like that. There will be rain in afternoon. It is possible that he doesn't understand Hindi. It is doubt whether he is able to come or not. Uh, it was fortunate that you escaped the accident. It is a mystery who can give my book. It plus to take plus me comma im comma etc plus im face comma to infinitive. There are three columns: it plus to take comma time face comma to infinitive. It to me. It took me. Sorry. It plus to take. It took me is a it plus to take. Time phrase is a 15 minutes to infinitive to reach the stadium. It took me 15 minutes to reach the stadium. It will take you only 5 minutes to walk the park. It took him 2 months to recover from his illness. It will take us 10 minutes to get there. It took we it will take us 10 minutes to get there. It took me 1 year to learn Kannada. It has taken me 1 hour to write my composition. 2 plus adjective or adverb plus 2 infinitive. There are three columns: subject plus verb, 2 plus adjective, 2 infinitive. She is subject plus verb. Too weak is a 2 plus adjective. To carry the box is a 2 infinitive. She is too weak to carry the box. I am too busy to attend the class. He talks too fast to understand. My sister is too young to go to school. She is too proud to listen to me. The boy is too lazy to work. He worked too slowly to be much used to me. Adjective or adverb plus enough to plus to infinitive. There are three columns: subject plus verb, adjective, adverb plus enough to infinitive. She is a subject plus verb. Strong enough is a adverb plus enough to carry the box. is a to infinitive. She is strong. Example, she is strong enough to carry the box. He is clever enough to understand it. The police ran fast enough to catch the thief. You are old enough to know better. She was beat hard enough to know to be knocked door. He is tall enough to reach the picture. She is stupid enough to believe us. So plus adjective or adverb plus that clause. There are three columns. So subject plus verb, so plus adjective, that or clause. It is a subject plus verb. So dark is a so plus adjective or verb. That I can see nothing is a I can see nothing is a that clause. It is so dark that I can see nothing. He talks so fast that you can hardly follow him. The box fell so heavily that it was broken. It was so hot that we had to postpone our trip. He was so furious that he could speak. He walked so quickly that could catch him up. I was so tired that I couldn't walk any further. Patterns of exclamatory sentences. What plus adjective plus noun plus subject plus verb. What plus adjective plus noun, subject plus verb. What a charming girl she is. What a lovely garden it is. What a good idea. What a terrible noise. What a fool. What a large nose you are. Yes. What beautiful music they are playing. What a pity. How plus adjective plus adverb plus subject plus verb. There are two columns. How plus adjective or adverb, subject plus verb. How charming she is. How lovely the garden is. How clever you are. How sweet the how sweet the song is. How tall you have grown. How well she dances. How quickly the holiday has passed. 13. Conditional type 1 open condition. If clause simple present, there are two columns. If clause simple present, mean clause will or shall, comma, can, comma, infinitive. First ಐದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರ. There are two columns. If clause simple present, mean clause will or shall or can, may plus plain infinitive. If you are study hard, you will get a first class. If it rains, we shall postpone our picnic. If I find the pen, I shall give it to you. If he runs all the time, he can get there in time. If our uncle arrives, she may not come with you. If you eat the dog, she will bite you. Conditional of this type tell us that something will happen if certain condition is fulfilled. The condition may or may not be fulfilled. Conditional type 2 improbable or imaginary condition. If clause simple past, main clause would, should, could, might plus plain infinitive. If you are studied hard is a simple if clause. You would get a first class. Main clause. If I were you, I should not do that. If we started now, we could be in time. If you are a millionaire, how would you spend your time? If we stopped smoking, you might get fat. If I earned a degree, I could get a job earlier. Conditionals of this type are used when we talk about something which we don't accept to happen or which is purely imaginary. Conditionals type 3 unfulfilled condition. If clause past perfect, main clause would, should, could, might plus perfect infinitive. If you had studied hard is a if clause. Main clause you would have to got a first class. If you had studied hard, you would have got a first class. Complete sentence. If I had tried again, I should have succeeded. If I have seen him, I could have saved him from drowning. If you had left that swab alone, it might not stung you. If you had come to me, I would not have got into trouble. Conditionals on this type say that something did not happen because a certain condition was not fulfilled. It plus be plus adjective or noun plus noun clause. There are three columns. It plus be adjective or noun clauses. It plus be strange adjective or noun that he should have behaved like that. It is strange that he should have behaved like that. It is likely that there will be a rain this afternoon. It is possible that he doesn't understand Hindi. It is doubtful whether he will able to come. It is a pity that he didn't try harder. It was fortunate that you escaped the accident. It is a mystery who can have taken my book. Thank you.